Another Patriots mother is here that I'm going to bring up here shortly that has been arrested in Tacoma. I'm going to let her tell his story because it's actually kind of sad. And we need to stand by her, and we need to stand by him. And his name is Skylar. And Skylar's mom, Stacy, is here to tell their story and what we could do to help Skylar.
These are my adorable other sons, Justin and Blake. Stand by me, right? I have been asleep at the wheel. I love that expression. And it's because of what's happened to my son, Skylar, that has woken me up. And I am very thankful now for my eyes to be open because I didn't know what was going on around me. Sherry, I don't know where you went, but you said everything so well. And I don't have a speech like that because I knew that I would get too nervous. And I just want to speak from my heart to you guys as if I was talking to one person individually. I want to be able to just share the passion that's in my heart with everyone and hopefully kind of help amongst with all these people speaking and talking. I just want to help ignite a fire in all of us about our constitutional rights. So anyway, Skylar, you probably already know his story because he's been in the news, and just recently they did an interview with him. And by the way, that interview, the phone interview that they did that was run on Cairo 7, got him kind of a punishment from the feds. So his phone privileges have been cut off for a month. What? And yeah, that's right. You know, we have our freedom of speech and we have our rights, and yet where are our rights when you get behind bars? You don't have any rights, right? So he spoke out. I felt that that Skylar did an excellent job in articulating what his passion was. In fact, that was probably one of the first times that I heard him speak so fluently about his position, and I couldn't help but just swell up like a mom would with so much pride for what he stands for, and he said it so well. And Justin helped in that interview with me. He did most of the speaking, and you did phenomenally well to explain a lot of different things. I know it was only like a 7.5 minute interview on the TV, but it was like about an hour and a half plus, and yeah, or 2 hours, and it was all cut out, but you know, that's the way it goes. But he's able to articulate himself so well to explain what Skylar stands for way better than I ever could. I'm kind of just a mom, and I'm new to the whole scene, but he was arrested on an illegal possession of a weapon, and he stands firm about his constitutional rights, Second Amendment right, without infringement, to be able to possess that. I was reading a declaration that he put out on February 23rd, a handwritten declaration to the courts. They were filing motions, right? And he articulated again himself so very, very well. It's 6 pages long, and I was able to read that and go, wow, he really knows. He really, really, really knows what he's talking about. He's done the research of why we have these rights to have weapons and why and everything, and so I do want to encourage everybody to keep standing for your rights. And see, now I'm armed with my very worn out pocket Constitution. Now Skylar told me a couple years ago when he kind of started into this venture that he the road that he got on, that he left his job at Boeing and got rid of most of his possessions, stored a few things at one of his brother's homes, and went out on the road to defend people's rights and our constitutional rights. Yeah, the Bundys, the Sugar Pine Mine, Predators of the Heart in Anacortes. he is all about defending us. He's not out to hurt us. He's all about ready to defend. If someone should attack, he wants the right to have his weapon to be able to protect other people and himself. Yeah, sheepdog. And so he introduced me to this a couple of years ago, and he's like, "Mom, you got to know this." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Well, there's a lot of stuff in there and I don't understand it." He said, "Mom, you got to memorize this." And he showed me his, and his is all dog-eared and notes written on it and sticky notes sticking out of it all over the place. And I was like, "Oh, how cute." Wow, that's really neat. And sometime I will, when I have time, I'll get to that. And I didn't. So now mine is starting to look maybe a little like his as I'm trying to study it and memorize it. I really encourage you guys to study and memorize this. I feel like this is like the second Bible. So if we have the Bible and we have the Constitution, then we filter everything that happens around us through those two things, and I think we're going to be pretty safe. And I really, really encourage you guys to know your Constitution, but I really, really encourage you guys to know your Bible too.
Yep.
Okay, because the Constitution was written kind of out of that, right? It sprung forth out of it. And so Jason Patrick gave me this one. And Jason Patrick, as you know, now is behind bars. So this, and I lost this for at least a couple of weeks recently, because I take it everywhere I go, and it lands on tables, and I'm constantly going around, where did I put it? But this means a lot to me, because when I was down in Burns, Oregon for the rally and the protest for the Hammonds, I asked Jason if I could get one of these, because I knew how important it was to my son that I have one. And so he pulled one out of his pocket. It was a little bit worn at the time. He's like, "Oh yeah, you can have this one." And so this is really precious to me because of him giving it to me. So I'm gonna not lose it this time. Anyway, but this Constitution is what I want. I want to help you guys think about getting a hold of these yourself. I bought a box. I bought a case of 100, and they're only 35 cents a piece. So I spent $35, and I want to pass them out everywhere I can go, wherever God would allow me to hand one to somebody. I work at a good-sized company, and trying to talk to people and say, "Hey, I have one of these. Do you want one of these?" I want to go places. I'm thinking about how I want to maybe go to a store and ask if it's okay if I hand out pocket constitutions at the door, if anyone would want one, that is. And I just feel like we need to get this in the hands of people everywhere, because this is a thing that we don't know anymore.
Yep.
We have gotten so far away from this. It's amazing to me. And I bet most of you, if you don't have one of these, but I bet most of you, the last time you saw the Constitution was inside this school, right? On the walls, maybe. And then that's if you ever even really looked at it or even understood it. And there's no time like the present now that we have this, we have it in our, we can put it in our back pocket. We've never been able to have the Constitution in our back pocket before until just more recently. So I encourage you to, if you don't have one of these, I'm sure there's a lot of us that have them that we can give to you, but inside it tells you how to order them. You can even go to their website, this company's website, and you can get one free if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope thing. You can get one free, but you can order them however you want to. And I really want to encourage you guys to hand them out to people so that we can get back on course in the right direction, so that we know when our freedoms are being taken away, when they're passing laws. See, Skylar told me, "Mom, you don't understand, they're passing laws," because I said, "Well, I'm a law-abiding citizen." He said, "Yeah, but they're passing unlawful laws. And if you don't know your Constitution, you don't even know that they're passing unlawful laws." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So how am I going to know that unless I know the Constitution, right?" It's the same for all of us. We'll stand by and we'll let our freedoms be taken away one by one because we don't know what the supreme law of the land says. And so that's really all I want to say to you guys. Skylar needs your support because I think he's kind of alone. He's here in Washington, right, at the FTC and CTAC, and all the other guys, you know, a lot of them are together down in Portland, but he's kind of been by himself here in Washington, and they just seem to do whatever they want to do with him, and it's really heartbreaking for me. And sometimes I think such bigger things happened after Skylar's arrest on December 6th. Such big things happened that why would or how are people going to even remember this one guy back in Washington who kind of was one of the first people to get arrested, and then the other things began to happen, and those things are huge. So I don't want you guys to forget about one of our patriots, Pete Santilli, Jason Patrick. They really stood behind him right after he was arrested. I mean, they went to bat for him, and John Ritzheimer, they really went to bat for him. And Jason Patrick said that I couldn't even believe that this was what was being said about my son on the show, that he was one of the most principled people he has ever met. And I thought, that's my son? Wow. And so he's a worthy cause. If you should want to write him, or if you should want to donate to his commissary account, or as we're trying to put together a defense fund, he does not have good representation right now. He has a public defender that is hired by the federal government. So there's a conflict of interest, as you can imagine, and he's not doing the work that Skylar is wanting him to do. He's dragging his feet. He's saying negative things to Skylar. Oh, you can't win that. I don't want to file that because that's not going to win. And Skylar's like, I need you to do this, and I need you to research, and I need you to do these things. And he's just dragging his feet. So we are still hoping and praying that that maybe some attorney, some constitutional attorney would maybe step forward and want to represent him pro bono, because we really have no money. That's the problem. So, but Skylar is sitting back, and he's hoping for a Christian attorney, and maybe if anyone knows anyone, there it is. So thank you so much for listening to my little kind of speech off the cuff here. I'm so appreciative to have been allowed to do this. So, thank you.